My name is Dr.Danessa. I'm a presenter here at the Women in Wealth Peak Edition brunch that is hosted by Kashaylian Brown. I just wanted to talk about my career first. I have 18 years experience working at Ample Blue Cross Blue Shield. I was just promoted to a provider relation manager senior in November 2021. I've been in the same department for the last 18 years. And once I knew I was going to finish my doctorate, I said, you know what? I got to go. I got to start making some money. So I'm from a small hometown called Tarleton, Georgia. I graduated from a high school, Central Tarleton. I went to elementary, middle, and high school in the same town. Yeah, that's how small we are. I had my son at the age of 15. But I did graduate in the top 10 of my class. I was an honor student. I hold 4 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in computer information systems from Columbus State University, 2 master's degrees, MBA from Troy University that I finished in 2009. I have a master's in human resource management. I graduated in 2012 from Troy University. And I got my doctorate degree that I completed in December 2021. Wow. And like she was saying, I haven't done anything with my degree. So my future goal is to create a nonprofit organization for Teen Moon to provide educational services, personal assistance and advice, and emotional support. And I'm getting a little emotional because my mom is here. I am a 41-year-old mom. I have a 25-year-old son named Trey and a 5-year-old grandson named Keegan.
Oh, she is proud of you.
So, when I had my son at 15, I had a lot of support. My mom was there, my dad, my sister, my brothers, like, everybody was there for me. Like, when I did my first release, I did cry, but I did stop. My mom is here now. That's why I'm so emotional. I get upset when I talk about it, because it's not, I always talk about it on social media how, you know, it was hard for me. Once I got pregnant with my son, I knew I had to get it together. I mean, I was a sophomore in high school, and everybody looked at me like I was smart. I was in the band. And everybody was like, oh, she's pregnant? Oh, ew, you know. So I felt like I had to prove myself to everybody that I could make it. Like, I always say, like, my motto is, I never want to be a negative statistic, so I became a positive one. And, I mean, it was hard. Like, my mom, and I said this in my first interview that I did back in the beginning of March, like, she did not sugarcoat anything. I had to do everything on my own. Like, my great aunt kept Trey. I had to take him back and forth to Shiloh, Georgia. That was like 20 minutes from our house, and I went to school in Tarleton. So my mama used to get me up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and she said, enough to get the baby bag ready. You gotta get Trey up. So at 5 o'clock every morning, I had to get up, fix my baby ball, with his diapers ready, clothes, and I had to drive 20 minutes from our house, drop him off, then go to school. And I had to go back and pick him up, so it was no more extracurricular activities after school. So, and I don't like to say that's why I have another kid, but that's one reason. When I say mom, like, even if I want to go out to the club because I used to love the party, she'd be like, you gonna make sure that baby's and you gotta make sure you're back before he wake up. So yeah, and so I just want to give a shout out to my mom and dad. My dad, Tarsus, my 2 brothers, Trey and TJ, my sister, she's a doctor also, Dr. Andrea Thomas. All of them helped me along the way, keeping my son financially, everything. We was all young at the time as well, but I'm the baby of the family. Who else I want to shout out? Oh yeah, my sister, she did help me through my doctoral journey because she had went through it. So like, I never had to use an editor for my paper. So she would go through it and say, well, no, so you need to change this. You need to change this. So shout out to her. Shout out to all of my friends. They helped me. All of us were like 15, 16 at the time when I had Trey. So they used to babysit for me, and I just give a shout out to them, my aunts that kept him while I was in school. So also I want to talk about with my dissertation, healthcare leader strategies for leveraging electronic health records. It was published in ProQuest in December 2021, and I'm also working on getting it published as a peer-reviewed journal article with Aspen University as we speak. Emotional when I talk about that. It's how my mom was.
One person I think, forgot to shout out. Trey, the young man that was back here, that is the son who is the odd of a teenage mom, and we heard from him. He's doing absolutely well. So, again, shout out to mama. She do better, but of course she instilled in you to push it in Trey, because the Trey to be a young man, he was doing awesome.
And he has his own clothing line. You all may know him as Justin Hartman on social media. Yeah, y'all. And he's a father. He's a great father. I have a 5-year-old grandson named Keegan. And like I had been telling him, I know nobody is perfect. Nobody's a perfect parent. So he's still learning how to be a dad. But I think by watching my mom raise him, that he's learning and he does what he has to do for his son, but he still got a lot of growing to do. He could be worse, but I think he's doing a great job as a dad.
So I have a question. What would you say to someone who maybe doesn't have the ambition to go to school and get a doctorate and stuff, but they're working in like a position, like you were saying, you felt like you wasn't using your education while you was working at Blue Cross, but you kept going. What is it that influenced you to keep going? Was it just because you knew once you got your doctorate you were going to get a better job, or was it just because education is just that important?
In our family, education was always instilled, like we need to know A's and B's. So I never thought as I was going to school to get these degrees that I would get a better paying job, because I was so stuck on being under my manager. Like I was in a comfort zone. Like I didn't want to step out.
Right.
And I can honestly say what made me step out on faith is something happened in that department, and I was like, okay, I'm about to have a doctorate, and they want me to be back on the phone.
Oh no.
And I was like, I've been here too long.
Baby.
And that's when I started applying out for jobs. And now I was just telling my son this morning, like since I got my doctorate degree, this is like my third speaking engagement. My first one was like March 12th, and then I presented my dissertation to Aspen University on March 18th, which was last Friday. And I was telling him this morning, like, now I feel like I need to apply for another position. Like, now I got it. I had 3 degrees and was stuck. Because I was stuck in my comfort zone, like, I don't want to leave. I mean, like, I was just stuck. But now I know I can make money. Like, so I'm like, okay, I've been in a position maybe 6 months. I'm about to apply it again. And see if I can get more money. Because my confidence level is up. Because I got that DR in front of my name.
Right. Yeah, it should be.
I would never encourage anyone to go to school unless they were ready to go to school. Because school isn't for everybody.
Right. And another thing too, I wanted to kind of piggyback on what you said about the program you want to start. Because I wanted to start something like that too. A lot of things people don't know about me is I was pregnant at 15 too. But I didn't have the opportunity to keep my baby. So I don't know what happened, but let's just say it, I don't know. But I always wanted to be the person to help and to be the example for the next young girls that are coming behind me to say, you don't have to, that's not what you have to do, but if you do, there's always a way to climb out of it. Because I know I was depressed for, I don't know how long I was depressed after that. But it's good and it's encouraging when you can sit down with it. Like I have nieces, so I can sit down with my nieces and I can say, hey, that ain't what you want to do. Like my niece, she always talking about, I'm gonna be an independent woman. You don't want that. Single parenthood is not easy. You don't want to step up and be mama and dad. Right. So that's why I try to encourage the younger girls that come, but they don't be listening.
They don't.
They don't.
I try not to scare young girls, but I tell them, I don't sugarcoat anything when it comes to getting a team. To me, I guess to other people, it may look like I did, like it was easy. I did have a support system, so it was a little easier for me, but I still had to raise my son, like, and we went through a lot of stuff. And I moved out when I was 19, trying to be grown. My mama didn't kick me out. I moved out. I just couldn't go back to her house after I left. So it was like, once I moved out and the stuff we had to go through, I had to make a decision and say, hey, well, I did this trade. Oh, let me get my son out of this situation. And we kept it moving. And like I had said in my earlier interview, every mistake I made, I learned from it, and I never made it again.
I was an 8th grade dropout.
Wow.
I was pregnant with my first baby. I married my children's father. All 3 of my children came from the same man. He was 21 and I was 14. My mom, my grandmother, bless them, they did what they thought was right. Back then, you gotta marry. You got this baby, you gonna marry this boy. So, I want to applaud you. I'm real. Everything for me.
You can reach me at danessa.thomas@waldenu.edu. Again, that email address is Danessa, which is DANESSA, .Thomas, THOMAS, @Walden, WALDENU.edu.